I want to ask you, popcorn controversy that happened, does that have a bearing on some of the decisions that are taken? I know you were trolled, and again, billions of memes. Nirmala ji, I want to ask you, does it impact you, at an emotional level, at a decision-making level, when people go after you in this manner? What did that one controversy mean to you?
No, I don't allow that to worry me in the negative sense, but I take it as people have a viewpoint. People have a viewpoint either because they have an experience in the sense they've been affected by it adversely, or they have a viewpoint saying they expect more, whether they are affected or not affected. So I take it for that. It's a different thing that, different types of people use different types of language. Some are very abusive, some are very toxic, but okay, these are part of being in public life. But I certainly take it in my course of work, and where I should do some kind of introspection and correction, I definitely do it. Because there is a very powerful tool for me to get the viewpoints, and therefore I take it for that.
For social media?
Not just social media, public opinion. When you walk around in the airport or railway station, people see you and tell you things. I take all of them seriously.
So today, if somebody were to come back to you and ask, would you have said something different today on the statement that you made about GST on caramelized meetha popcorn?
Navika, that was a very complex issue. I had to announce the clarification which the GST Council had taken. There was a large state where there were a lot of problems in the way in which some traders, I'm not saying all, were misusing this classification, because just plain popcorn, unpacked and loose, which is what you get in malls, they do it there itself and give it to you, so it is taxed as 5%. And there are places where packed, pre-packed and sealed come at 18%. Just salted, I'm going into the detail, which was mocked at, but I have to say this. These are classifications done with codes. Because why do you need codes? Why do you need so many difference? There are such things, not just popcorn, on every item. They can be imported, they can be manufactured here. And the treatment within India, when it is done by a cottage industry, is different from that which is done by a large, giant corporate body. So these treatments are
repackaged and
branded, and they have huge advertisements and so on. They are treated differently, as different from local merchant who does it small and sells his ware. These are differentiations brought because of the economy's nature itself. But when the same product comes from outside, they have a particular code with which they come. So an imported product competing against a similar product which is produced within the country, they have to be treated, and there should be some unique number given to them. So there is a HSN code given to them. Now therefore, the doubt which arises in the mind of both the seller or when they go to the court, in the court, that these two items are being treated similarly or they should be treated differently, are all subject to litigation. So when a state tells you, look, this is being misused, we want the GST Council looking into it and give a clarity.
Which state was this?
It doesn't have to be mentioned here, but a state felt that a lot of revenue was being lost because of misuse. GST Council looked into it. All ministers belonging to different parties, different states, agreed, yes, this clarification should be given. And I could have said, all right, my officers will give it. I could have done that. Saved myself, looking at it in retrospect, saved myself from all the, memes saying, should the finance minister come and say this? Does she have to think about popcorn? Should she not be thinking about I take that. I take it in my stride. But for a GST, which is now just going to be, which is touched 10 years, but no, 7th year, there are a lot of teething problems on which, when there is a clarification which the council takes up, and in a press conference, and that day, mind you, there was a television channel which was running it, as though they have already got to know what the council is taking as a decision. And in the media, in the press conference, somebody asks a question. Do I reply or do I not? And if it is a petty thing, I'm a finance minister, I can't talk on popcorn, I could have asked a secretary to answer. Even that would be treated. I remember distinctly during Atmanirbhar Bharat time, when one question was asked of me, I said, probably I spoke too much, and I said, all right, now the secretary can answer. That evening, my God, there were a lot of people who said, she doesn't know fundamental, she's only an achar mami, she cannot give
Achar mami.
Yes, she makes achar, so she doesn't know these details. She's asking the secretary to reply. So opinions come on that as well.
Damned if you do, damned if you
Yes,
don't.
so I don't mind, because these are, I suppose, occupational hazards.
Nuts and bolts
Yes.
of the tax regime.
And the finance minister doesn't know any of that. Now, when I come up with a clarification, which was a council decision, I'm held wrong. It's all right. I take all this in my stride, occupational
बुरा तो
hazard.
लगता होगा कभी-कभी.
Because people
You're
don't...
human.
No, you don't go into the fullest context as to why was there a need for me to clarify. Why was it a council decision which I had to say? And all the ministers involved took a call. Are you then telling me that all the ministers were also spending their time talking about POP? It was a requirement. Legally, there are several cases going on. So unless the council gives a clarification, we just can't, run away from it.